This is the plaintiff, Tammy Byerly. She says she was going through a midlife crisis and bought a 1989 black Corvette which needed some TLC. She hired the defendant to put a new engine in it, but it didn't drive right. She took it to another place and they found a mallet wedged into the engine and discovered he put the entirely wrong motor in the car to begin with. She's outraged and wants her hard-earned $5,000 returned. This is the defendant, Chris Anderson. He says the plaintiff never paid him in full for the work he did on the car, and that's not right. He's been a mechanic for 25 years, does excellent work, and says the plaintiff is acting like a complete fool. Even the cops thought so. He's accused of vetoing a vet owner.
Okay, Tammy Byerly, you are suing Chris Anderson, doing business as Big Daddy's Automotive, for $5,000 in damages that you say you have sustained as a result of an engine that he put in that has had nothing but problems, according to you, since it's been in. Talk to me. Tell me what happened.
Yes, ma'am. I took a car there that I had bought. It was an '89 Corvette, and he had talked to me out of rebuilding the original engine. He had a engine there on the premises that came out of a Corvette and that would fit into my car.
Was it a Corvette engine?
I assumed it was because he said it came out of a Corvette.
Okay.
That's not completely true.
Hold on. When did you get the Corvette?
In October.
And was that your first Corvette?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And was that like a little special gift to yourself?
Yes.
On account of?
I am about to have, my third child is 18 and about to graduate from high school, and this was kind of like...
Don't let the door kick you on the way out, kid.
I don't have to be a soccer mom anymore, and this is like
So it's your liberation from soccer momhood?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
good for you. All right, so?
So I stopped by to check on the progress of the car and drop off these special spark plugs, and during a conversation with Mr. Anderson and his sons, it came out that the engine had been in a Corvette, but it originally had been in a GTO.
During conversation with Mr. Anderson's son?
And his sons.
And his son.
They were all working on the car.
It came out, this is after or before they put it in?
During. And I expressed my concern, and he said basically that a GTO is Pontiac, Chevrolet is Corvette, it's all GM, it's all the same, it's fine.
They're all cars?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, basically. I mean,
all right.
Yeah,
now,
so.
you paid him $2,621.92 for the engine work, for the
yes.
engine to be put in. All right. And when you picked up the car, tell me how soon you had a problem.
Immediately.
Did you pay for it in full?
Yes, I did. Matter of fact, I've got...
Now, not at that time, though, right? When he let you pick up the car with a payment plan.
Installments, correct.
All right. So now, a few months later, you end up having a problem. What's the problem?
Right. Well, I took it back. Well, immediately I took it back that day, later on that day, because the AC wasn't working anymore. Later that day, he put Freon in it. The air conditioner was working again. So then I said, well, it's still not running properly. He said, well, it's got to get used to the computer. So
they got to get to know each other?
Another week and a half or so go by, I'm like, it's still not running right. And in the meanwhile, I'm dropping off payments on a weekly basis of $200 to take care of the $1,600 balance. Mm-hmm. So about the third week into this, said, you know what, maybe the injectors need to be cleaned. It'll take the same day or next day service. So I dropped the car off.
At some point, they call you and they say that'll be $392 additional
right.
dollars.
Yeah. So yeah.
For what?
They had decided to. Instead of just cleaning them, he put 3 used injectors into the car. They just happened to have 3 used injectors around their shop. They left a message. They just happened to have 3 used injectors around the shop, and they went ahead and put them in, and it was going to be...
Had you authorized that work?
No.
Tell me about that $392 bill and what happened there.
I'd like to address a couple things real quick, Your Honor.
Here's what I want you to address. Did she know
fuel
that...
injectors,
Wait, stop. Here's what I want you to address. Did she know beforehand that the engine that you were putting in was not a Corvette engine and did not come from a Corvette?
Absolutely, without a doubt, because we went over her, we gave her 3 different options to do.
What were the options?
The first option was to put a used motor in it, and I told her that that Corvette engine has aluminum cylinder heads. It's hard to find. Our cost on it was $3,500 just for a used engine. I told her that we could rebuild her engine. It was going to be about $5,000 either way, but rebuilding her engine was going to take a couple of weeks. I can't do that. I got to have my car back right now. So I gave her the option. I said, I've got a motor on the floor that I know what's in it. I built it myself. I know what's in there. It came out of a car that my son wrecked. It came out of a GTA Trans Am, and I told her that up front. I told her it was a steel-headed motor. I told her...
Does it say it on your... You have paperwork with her where she authorizes the work, right?
Yes.
Does it say everything you're saying or no?
It just says a used motor. It does.
Okay.
We didn't...
Specified? That would be really helpful, though, if it had been specified. Customer
I understand.
chose, you know what I mean?
I
like for the
understand.
future, I'm saying.
Right.
Right? To specify it so that a customer can't claim they didn't know something if that's not true? All right, so go on.
We offered her the option to
And
go.
and according to you, she picked that option.
She said that she couldn't afford the $5,000.
Okay.
And matter of fact, she told me that she was paying her payment or whatever it was for her property taxes and everything, and that's why she didn't have the money to pay the $2,500.
So according to you, she authorizes the $2,600 job.
Correct.
But that should do it, right? The engine should work.
Correct.
Things should be okay.
And the engine
What's your
part of it,
warranty on the engine?
12 months, $12,000.
Okay, and now she comes back to you, she's paying you, you're nice enough to give her a payment plan rather than making her pay the whole thing up front.
Right. She was supposed to start making payments right out the gate. She missed the first 2 payments, and she brought me a payment in the middle of the week. Then she brought me a couple payments. The second payment, or third payment she brought me, she complained that the car was running bad. We put some injector cleaner in it. I told her that she probably had some, fuel problems or whatever, but that's unrelated to the motor. The fuel injection, all the pieces that go on a motor, when you buy a motor, you buy a motor. You don't buy the fuel injectors. You don't buy, everything that comes off of your old motor goes on the motor that you put back in.
But I want to understand what your position is. Your position is the fuel injectors have nothing to do with the engine?
They do. But they are not replaced when you replace your engine.
That's what I mean. When every mechanic who puts in a new engine, a rebuilt engine, he doesn't touch the fuel injectors. He sticks the old fuel injectors back on.
Correct.
That's not part of changing an engine. That's what you're saying.
Well, you trade them, but that's it.
Okay.
If you have some bad pieces that are on your motor, i.e. spark plug wires, anything to do with the tune-up or the fuel injection or anything like that, all that stuff's transferred to the other motor.
All right, now listen, here's my question. She brings a car in, she's now, at the point when she brings her car in again, I'm talking about the time with the $392.20 cent charge for fuel injectors. At that time, she's behind on the payments, right?
She showed up and thought she was going to pay the $392, and the 3 payments she was behind. She was going to bring $1,000 and come in there and get the car. No. And then when I told her that wasn't going to happen, she acted the fool and started cussing and everything, and I told her to leave my business.
That's
okay. In any event, go on. So she comes, she pays you in full. Now, tell me your tale of woe thereafter, okay, Ms. Byerly, because since then, you have had to take the car on 3 or 4 separate occasions to a different mechanic, to Tires Plus. And Tires Plus has done a whole lot of work on this car. Yes, they have replaced fuel injector after fuel injector. Have you seen the new bills that she has ended up having to pay?
I do. I have 2 of these bills. One of them is from Wayne.
There's 2 new ones. She has shelled out now like an additional $2,000+ trying to fix the thing.
$2,000+. I only have a receipt for $559.
I know. There's 2 more. Hand over the 2 other estimates from Tires Plus. I mean, at some point, I don't understand why you would put $2,700 after fixing a $2,600 engine job. At some point, it's sort of goofy to keep doing this. Well, unless the stuff is unrelated to the engine.
Your Honor, if you look on that receipt that you have that is...
Give me all of... Hold on a second. Give me all of the receipts that you have from Tires Plus or any other mechanic who has fixed the fuel injector problem since then. All right. Now I'm going to hand these over to you. I want you to take a look at them and tell me why it is that has nothing to do with the engine that you put in.
It says up here that that they found missing or cross-threaded bolts and at the transmission, the fuel delivery rail, and the intake, and that's the same things that they repaired on the other ticket you have up there. So I guess the shop that she took it to. No.
The only thing she's not charged for that twice. Address what they say about the cross-threading bolts. Address what they say. Hold on. Address what they say about how you rigged it up in a way so that the fan would constantly be cooling, which caused the fan to burn out, which caused them to have to replace all that because it was improperly wired. Address those parts. That's what I want you to address. Did you see that or no?
I see where they're talking about the fan
about you miswiring
improperly wired and everything, but why? That doesn't mean that I wired it because I didn't do anything.
Well, who would wire it? You're the guy who put in the engine.
I understand that. But, I mean, I'm not the first person that worked on this car either.
I'm going to take a recess now, and I want to chat with the fine folks from Tires Plus and hear what they have to say. Court's in recess.
So, would you ever put a non-Corvette engine in a Corvette?
I don't think so. It doesn't seem like a smart move.
But aren't they're like American-made cars. Why aren't engines interchangeable?
I'm sure there's something about the chassis of the, where the engine goes that probably not compatible.
Are engines interchangeable? I mean, would you ever do that? Even if you didn't know, would you do that? Does it sound right?
I mean, it just doesn't sound right to put the wrong engine in the wrong car.
Is there something special about a Corvette that would really scare you about doing that?
I don't know. Sorry.
How about that they're really sweet? Yeah.
It's beauty.
You know, it is beauty, actually, because it is a beautiful car going inside the courtroom.
All right, here's where we are, folks. You say you had no idea that they were putting in an engine that was not a Corvette engine.
That's correct.
He says you did and you picked the cheapest alternative. On the one hand, that's believable that someone would pick a cheaper alternative. People do it all day long and then they regret it. On the other hand, you better believe that if you're putting in something that doesn't belong in the car, you ought to get it in writing. If somebody's giving me an option and there's 3 options and one's a really good one and the last one is sort of, half-baked, you better believe that it's going to say on the receipt, customer chose option number 3. None of that happens, which leaves us in a little bit of a gray area, especially when the Tires Plus folks are telling me, because this is what they told me, look, Judge, I can tell you that some of this was shoddy workmanship on his part. This was not put in right. Some of this, I can tell you, has to be when he put in the engine. Some of it could have been work that was done by another guy beforehand because the car is 20 years old. There's things that are going wrong, and they're going wrong because of the way he put it in, where things are, rigged here and bolts aren't here, and the harness is causing half of the electrical problems. So here's the deal. I don't know where you want to stand on this engine, but if I'm going to order him to return to you the money that you paid on the engine, you don't get to keep the engine. You understand that, right?
That's fine.
That engine comes out.
That's fine. Yeah, I
Okay.
don't want that engine.
All right. Because one of 2 things happen. Either she authorized it and you can't prove it, or she authorized it, I believe you that she authorized it, and you put in an engine that you thought would work and the engine didn't work. Either way, it's a problem. Okay? Well, I'm going to order the return of the $2,621.92. For the engine, I'm going to order the return of the engine, goes back to him. I'm also going to order a portion of what you have spent with the new mechanics at Tires Plus to be repaid to you. And the sum total judgment in your favor is going to be $4,500 verdict for the plaintiff and the return of the engine. You'll make the arrangements with them now?
Well, the workmanship was characterized as shoddy in some cases. Step on in here. What's your reaction to this outcome?
Well, I don't think it was correct, but, I mean, she took it to other repair shops, and who's to say that they didn't do some repairs to the vehicle that caused some of these issues and everything? I mean, the receipt says...
You're out here saying all your workmanship was absolutely first class and perfect.
Well, you go to my website and look at my reviews, and all those people aren't wrong.
All right, so you're going to get the engine back.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. I like that engine.
Okay.
Works good.
All right. Right down there. All right, come on in here. Imagine the plaintiff in a black Corvette. Very good. How do you feel about the outcome here?
I'm happy about it. I'm not happy about the lies. He tried to paint it that I had gotten behind. I was within the 60 days of that. And
Why do you love the black Corvette so much? What is it?
It just looks sporty and it's fun to drive and it goes fast.
Right, and so you like fast cars, huh?
Yeah.
Harvey?
So here's the point here. If you make a deal with somebody, you could actually be on the hook, and if you screw up, you could be on the hook for more money than the actual cost of the job. So beware. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.